Hey guys, I'm gonna be doing my first BTS video, and BTS stands for behind the scenes, by the way. Not gonna make a crazy behind the scenes video that's a whole film itself. It's not bad for a first attempt. Maybe in the future I'll make a film about my film. Quick thing I want to mention before we do start: this is the updated version of this video. There was a version prior to this that got 6 likes and 57 views, I'm pretty sure. That was 14 minutes long, and the intro, why it's 12 minutes now is because in the beginning I noticed a lot of people clicking off. In my analytics, a bunch of people were clicking off, and I just thought, this is what every artist is guilty of. And they love their work, they want their work to be seen. Even if you've transcended that and you're like a GOAT artist and you've been doing this for like 50 years and you're super well known, you've transcended the the fear, the belief that there's you, that I have to please my fans. You've transcended all of that. Even if you transcended all of that, I feel like you'd still have some inner thoughts saying that I wish my art would be watched. I wish people would watch through the beginning and see the beautiful stuff in the middle of the video and not just like skip by. And so, I'm in the beginning, I haven't transcended yet, and that's why I decided to cut out the beginning. So without further ado, let's get started in this video. You can't look. So this bit, I know I'm pausing already. I hate when people react to videos and they keep pausing the video. I know, I'm sorry. But this, I actually couldn't get this text to camera tracked. If you know all about this effect, right, where the text stays still and the camera moves like past the text or beside it, I actually couldn't get this text to stay there the proper way. So what the proper way is probably using some type of 3D tracker to make a 3D space of this thing and have the text stay there and have the video go across. I literally just put a keyframe at the beginning and a keyframe at the end and moved the text according to how fast the video moved. And I mean, it works. It looks like it. And hey,
you can't lock in for long because you've never purposefully locked out. You romanticize locking in, learning every trick, every system, every way to grind harder, but you never paid attention to locking out. You think your problem is not enough discipline, but what if it's actually not enough rest? So in this film,
that was the cut. In between this clip right now and the clip before, that was the cut. There was supposed to be a whole section in between these two shots that was kind of, in short, there are 3 posters in my room that I specifically put up for this video, which is David Goggins, Alex Hormozi, and Jocko Willink, all kind of discipline figures, discipline influences, right? And I put them up all over my room, and each time that video that's playing in the video right now, me watching that video that's titled Rethink Discipline, each time that says something controversial, one of the guys would speak. And as soon as they speak, I'm like, oh, what the fuck, where is that voice? Where's that voice coming from? And I just thought this was a nice tension way to get started. It also shows the conflict in my mind of, one voice says discipline's good, you must always do discipline, and another voice is, oh, but balance, you can't be whipping yourself with discipline. And if you watch this video, you'll understand what I mean. It wasn't true discipline that I was doing. I was kind of just whipping myself with hatred instead of true discipline. And I'm not gonna explain what the video is about, but anyway, sorry, I just had to go and check something. Let's continue.
I'll show you how romanticizing discipline and overlooking exhaustion.
So in this shot, there's obviously a mask going on. I wish at the beginning my whole idea was to, separate, have an easy time, because there's no one helping me with this video. I should explain that first. It's all me here. Behind that door, it's me. right? And I'm here. And so you're wondering, if you know nothing about editing, oh, how did you get yourself in 2 shots? Well, this whole part here is actually a second shot. This is a whole first shot, and they're 2 different shots. But since the camera is in the same position, you can blend it. You can blend it together and have someone on this side, which is also you, and someone on this side, which is also you. What I originally wanted to do to make my life easier was to, have a clear point where nothing enters straight down the middle. But unfortunately, I didn't factor this in at the time, and I had to mask out this entire chair, and you can see there's a slight blur here because this is a different clip, and the door opening, it's gonna, so you can see there's a slight mistake there.
Quietly turned toxic and ruined my life. How I broke out of it, and what happened when I finally...
I actually really like this shot.
This is the story of how I learned that when motivation fails, it's discipline. But when discipline fails, it's rest.
You can see, I didn't actually do this on purpose, right? But I got it, and upon looking at it in the editing software, it just looks so good with the glare here and the glare here. And as I turn on even more, it will look even better. The slight, like, subtle shadowy, it's very nice. It's, I don't know how to describe it. Smooth, milky, whatever. And the gun here, it's not a real gun. I hope YouTube doesn't notice and think it's a real gun and like demonetize me. But it's an airsoft gun. In fact, I can show you now. I hope YouTube doesn't demonetize this video as well. But oh shit, there it is. It's an airsoft gun. Actually, I don't think it's even airsoft. It's like BB gun with metal BBs. You can see here, and yeah, nice. I don't even know what it's called. Maybe it's a Luger. Maybe, I don't know. But I thought that would be great as this symbolically, right? Exclude the gun for a moment, but this symbolically is like the disciplined people, the disciplined police, the hardcore hustlers coming to get me because I'm changing my mind. The video that I'm watching in this video, named Rethink Discipline, is changing my mind. And it's like Neo getting out of the Matrix, right? Morpheus tells Neo to wake up and, life isn't as it seems. But then the discipline police come over and, they're trying to execute me before I become the one. And here I used the effect called Optical Flow. It's not working as good as it's supposed to, but I guess it still gets the point across. Because I don't have a high frame camera. I literally use my phone to film these videos. But yeah, I filmed this in 60 frames, slowed it super down, and used an effect called Optical Flow in DaVinci Resolve, and that just gave this a super slow-mo effect. The theory here is if I click accept the Rethinking Discipline viewpoint, I escape getting shot in the head. And I do, and it goes to part 1. This effect, by the way, it's Vinville sound effect. It's like crackling Vinville, and I did this by accident. I found this effect, and I added it on top, and I shit. That sounds brilliant. It looks pretty good. It's complete accident. Sometimes it just happens when you're making art. Something happens and you just roll with it, and it actually ends up pretty good. At the ripe age of 17, I love this part, after years of productivity, change, and growth, something went horribly wrong, and I couldn't pinpoint what it was.
But doing anything productive started to hurt unbelievably so. Everything required a tremendous amount of willpower like never before. Little things like getting off the couch.
I actually love this part. This is like the highest quality work I've done like so far. It's every clip is very colorful and it's very good, and you know, it's high quality every clip.
And wash his dishes required me to listen to motivational YouTube just to do so.
Love the shot as well.
Getting ready to go to the...
And I can do that shot because I'm using an iPhone. Water resistant, waterproof. Easy as that. Just put it in the sink and there you go. Afterwards, I have to play a sound that, like, you know, gets the water out of my phone, though. If you don't know about that, you can search up on YouTube water, getting rid of water sound on YouTube, and you play that on your phone and it vibrates the water out.
Gym took half an hour of debating myself.
Love the show.
Exhaustion, though I didn't know the existence of it at the time, had crept up on me. Any normal person would have stopped at...
I debated, in this shot, I debated showing my feet or not. And there's this whole thing with fucking creators online. Oh, show my feet. I'm gonna start OnlyFans. There's a joke with everyone, these creators. But whatever, I had to get the point across that this guy was relaxed. So I put the feet on the dashboard and you don't even get a full view of my feet. I don't know why I brought that up. It's just kind of like a... It's a thing with me. That the YouTubers that talk about their feet. It's just... Why? Just why?
Rested.
And you can see here, right? This is like a natural... I don't even know what you call this. Light through the shades. You know, these shades here, there's light coming through, and that just creates such a nice effect. It would be better if the sun was like really, really bright and really, really yellow though. But you know, it's still very good. And there's an Easter egg here. If you actually notice and you're an anime watcher, this is me watching Jujutsu Kaisen. It's pretty good anime. And yeah, this match shot, it's only possible because I got myself a slider. It's all the way over there, but yeah, it's just a quick thing. If you're getting into filmmaking, you shouldn't get a slider just yet. If you have the funds, completely sure, why not? But, and I'm talking about a motorized slider, by the way, if you want to search that up. But if you're just getting into filmmaking, I don't recommend you buy a slider right away. It looks super cinematic, it's super good, but it's a big investment, and you know, setting it up takes time, and you might actually have to buy like 2 extra tripods or supporting arms, and you know, the costs just build up. But you know, I have the funds to do so, and so I bought it, and I really like this shot. You can cut this. You can see here that there's a match cut.
Came back strong. But because I romanticized being disciplined over anything, I continued to persevere down this path, hoping that I'll come out on the outside.
This wasn't
sized being disciplined over anything. I continued to persevere down this path, hoping that I'll come out on the outside. And for enough time, I did come out on the outside, but not in the way I'd hoped.
That shot back there where I was leaning back, that wasn't a true top-down shot. I didn't have a C-stand that you can probably see in the background. I just got that. I don't have a C-stand for that shot, so I literally tilted my tripod, and on the other end of my tripod, where I tilted it like that, right, and then have the tripod head like that, and then it kind of gave the illusion that it was a top-down shot tripod. I didn't have a boom arm or anything to film that. Literally, I tilted it like that, and I supported the end, like the leg that was flying up because it was tilted, of the tripod with, literally, I wedged it in between my bed back there, if you could see it. And yeah, that's how I got that shot.
Instead, I found something as...
I really like these shots that are just pitch black and it's just text, because I feel like it gives the viewer time to think, time to breathe, and you know, it's not just all visuals. It also makes my life 10 times better because I don't have to make a shot for this, and it also gets my point across, and it allows me to be kind of lazy sometimes. But you know, I do like these speaking portion.
A refuge, something that could finally bring me back to my former glory. Hatred, not of others, but of myself.
This, when I was filming this, this was actually a very hard part initially to do, because the phone, it's such a shit low light camera. In daylight, it's bloody amazing. It's such a great camera for a phone, but in this shot, I could still see, with my eyes, I could still see all the stuff around me. It wasn't this pitch black with my eyes. If you were there with me in real life, you could see everything. But because the phone is terrible in low light conditions, this is what I got. I'm still happy with this because you can only see my outline and the campfire. And also, lighting this was a pain because I didn't have a good fuel source, and I was literally just finding massive bits of newspaper to burn and burn and burn, and if twisted. You notice this is a huge fire there.
There's toxic fuel.
Later here, that's a very small fire because the newspaper ran out, and I was trying to get different shots, and I wasn't sure what type of shots I wanted. I had a general idea, but you know, when I'm actually there, the scenario is different. The environment's, you know, wetter than I expected and muddier than I expected. And you know, this is. At the start, this was very hard for me to do because in my previous 2 videos before this video, this is my 3rd cinematic video, I didn't even exit the house. Well, I did, but I didn't do anything like different, and I've been wanting to do that. I've been wanting to get out of the house, and I've been wanting to do something different in my videos rather than just me being in my room and making cinematic stuff in my room. Not that that's bad, but it's just, you know, I want to explore, I want to take some challenges, you know. And so went outside, lit a campfire, and put my slider there, and you know, did it all in one take. And neighbors probably think I'm crazy.
Where I try to do the work, feel the enhanced pain of trying to do the work exhausted, fail because of it.
This is a thought I got in the beginning. Actually, this was one of the very few beginning ideas that I had for making this video, which the vicious cycle. I didn't want to make a average like editing cycle, you know. I didn't want to have a black background with images and, you know, VFX my way through it. I could, but this doesn't really separate me from others. And also, this is cool, you know. I'm printing out anime pictures to depict the vicious cycle and
the extreme pain and low levels of willpower from being exhausted. To escape the pain, I reach for instant relief, vices, or easier tasks. See that I've committed a great sin when I was supposed to work. Then guilt hits. I didn't hate myself for it so much that I want to change. I actually do change by using that hatred and frustration to do the work, to go to the gym, to get in the cold shower and do the healthy habit, and often overdo it to punish myself, get a false illusion of control and being disciplined, high off of adrenaline.
Originally with this cycle, I wanted to have text that was floating here, and when I move it up there to the next picture, it would stay here and like kind of be attached to the wall. But upon trying to do that, I realized that there was a massive fault because this is a mirror and it's a reflection, and so it basically proved impossible to do that. And this is like a weird surface as well. So yeah, it was a good idea at the beginning, you know. I would have labeled this like, I don't know, reflection or whatever, and then that would have been a cool effect. But mirror and the camera tracker, and yeah, the camera tracker in DaVinci Resolve, it doesn't do well with reflections. And also I spoke too long on this part, so I cut to that part, that picture up there, but it's unnoticeable if I just let it play.
Dopamine, temporary peace. After all that, I don't know how to rest. other than sleeping or scrolling. And if by accident real rest is happening, it feels like sin, making it not real rest. Then I try to...
That looks seamless, doesn't it? But there was actually a cut in between here, and I used something called smooth cut. And because I was just speaking for too long on that.
To work again, get crushed. The cycle repeats. A vicious cycle.
I originally wanted to add some Vagabond anime pictures there, but I didn't. I was in the midst of reading it. Kind of past the point. Kind of 90% of the video is done, and I've already shot that, so... Anyways, but Vagabond is a great manga. You should try it out.
And though this cycle helped me get back to work, each time I used it, it cost me by letting me...
You can see the slight jutters in my slider. I don't think I set it up properly for this shot, but still worked out in there.
Work, it was giving me a glimpse of glory in the midst of exhaustion and failure, which made me come back for more and more, with a faint hope each time that the productivity will stay. Each time I came back, it made me forget more and more of my original
Some terrible shadow boxing by me.
healthy way of doing things, thinking of this cycle as the norm, the only way to work and succeed. And what's worse was...
This shot, it went so well by accident. The timing was so good by accident. I actually love it. You'll see.
Even though I looked disciplined, because I did disciplined actions, I used hatred as fuel, and that fuel made me want to work. And what is it called when you want to work? Being motivated. You got ego death.
This shot took a while. I was actually in my kitchen. I'll see if I can find the clip and add it into this behind the scenes shot. I was in my kitchen with the best light I have, which is in my kitchen, the biggest, like, whitest light, and that's also where I have most space to do this. I was literally on like a piano chair, and I was just faking falling, and then I'd slow that footage down and, you know, mask myself out to make it seem like I'm falling. And the snow helps. The snow that falls upwards helps, like, it gives the illusion that I'm falling, actually.
Getting out of this cycle was a different story. Best way to put it is confusing. One side of me said that only discipline matters, that if I let go, I'll lose all the discipline I've built up and never get it back.
Coward.
Coward. We have a new world to conquer. You make me sick.
Leave me alone, please.
Hiding in the shadows. Hiding from who you truly are.
Those are the exact lines that Willem Dafoe says. Leave me alone, please. No. That's I literally just ripped that off from the movie, but hey, looks pretty good, right?
But another quieter side told me an answer I didn't expect. To listen to the body.
I kind of, symbolically, the Green Goblin here was, you know, the disciplined guy. Oh, we have a world to conquer. And then the Tyler Durden guy was, oh, let go. Let go of all of this fucking bullshit that you've taken on in your life and hit rock bottom and rebuild.
Listen to the unnatural amounts of pain and effort it took to do something that once only had little resistance. That this wasn't normal.
Let go! Look at you! You're fucking pathetic! You can't escape.
They argue.
Stop trying to control
In my mind.
everything and just let go.
It's kind of like the old adage of, you know, there's an angel on this shoulder and there's a devil on this shoulder, in like Tom and Jerry or something.
But again, unable to choose between the two.
And
I ignored those voices.
This is the goated bit. I might have to silence the video because this is kind of copyrighted, but as is the video before, but, you know.
And kept persevering, still hoping to break through until a question put the final nail in the coffin. Can I really call myself disciplined?
This is again a masking out, and I don't have a green screen, so I used a yoga mat that's purple, and so I purpled out myself here and the rest of this shot where the yoga mat isn't, I literally just cropped it until here, and that gave me a really good mask.
If the moment
As you can see, my fingers are perfectly cut out. There's black in between my fingers instead of purple, instead of, jitters, and yeah, good hack.
I let go of everything, it all falls apart. Is that really discipline, or something pretending to be? Old skin, perhaps, waiting to be shed, but not shed, for the fear of trading away what kind of works now, for the unknown that may or may not be better.
You try this trick and spin.
This is a continuation of the shot where I was falling, like the title shot of part 2 self-destruction. That was a continuation. I actually ended up on the floor after falling.
This question puzzled me for days, keeping itself in the background, surfacing every now and then as a question I must solve. So I kept asking and waiting. And then I received.
This wasn't a good mask, but I blurred it out, so it kind of looks fine anyway. And I don't think people care. That's 2 different shots if you notice a subtle difference there. When he smiles, that's the end of a shot, and then when he completes a smile, that's a new shot. This is an AI generated shot, obviously, but I don't think you understand how hard it is to generate these shots.
So I just want you guys to see how difficult this AI stuff is. It isn't just, I'll generate a scene with me in it and Tyler Durden, and we're both in a white seamless room and we're talking. It's not that simple. You don't just enter a prompt and do that, because you have thousands of reiterations. AI messes up things. I'm shit at prompting. Different shots don't really work out. It doesn't get the detail. It doesn't maintain consistency. Your credits for the website you're using, the plan you've bought, as you can see that little circle there. I don't know if you can see that little circle there. My credits are running out real fast, and it's not as simple as you think. The amount of generations and the amount of time I've had to wait for each of these generations compounded over time equals headache. But don't get me wrong, this if I were to make this scene in like Blender or whatever, I'd actually like kill myself. I can't even begin to imagine how that would be hard. So I guess I can't complain about prompting, but hey, if you're one of those people that say AI is, oh, it's so easy, AI, or it really isn't. It might get easier, but it really isn't.
Not even like a VFX artist, 3D artist could do this, like in this short amount of time anyway. With this amount of detail as well. This looks really, really real. This is actually 2 separate shots. Like, this is me generated over here and I'm sitting still, and this is Tyler Durden over here. It's 2 different shots. And so I mask myself in here, and there's a cutout here, and since it's white, it's easy to mask out and blend the 2 shots together. And basically the Tyler Durden came out and it just zoomed for some reason. Like, he sat down perfectly and then it just started zooming out, and so I had to literally change that in my editing software to zoom it back out, and so make it basically appear still, to counteract that zooming out with zooming in, if that makes sense. And even with this shot, if you're wondering how I got myself into the into the shot, into the AI, I basically got a side shot of my face and actually my whole body, I think. And what's surprising is I told the AI to give me light blue shoes with these kind of off yellow bands, and it did it really, really well. And this kind of looks like me, I guess. It's got my ring, right? But if you see it move, and it doesn't really look like me. But this shot's only for a few seconds, so it doesn't matter. You can see in this shot how bad the consistency is in AI right now. And I actually debate using AI. In my mind, it's a conflict. But, for purposes like this, because I'm not a 3D artist or a VFX artist, but for purposes like this, this is really cool, right? If you're a viewer and you don't care about the AI stuff, it's really, really cool to talk to Tyler Durden. And so I just thought, why not? And you can see there's no consistency here, because back then he had a cigarette in his mouth and sunglasses, and so that's why I made that little like black gap to seem like time's passed and he's taken off his glasses and so on and so forth. I couldn't get him to look proper with his sunglasses and his cigarette. He just didn't speak right. His cigarette would be like, distorting itself, and him with his sunglasses, his mouth just turned into not Brad Pitt at all. And fun fact, this is actually me acting here. There's a AI thing that's called, I think, Kling Motion Control, and this is me acting as Brad Pitt. This is iconic with Brad Pitt, right? That little like head turn. This is me acting.
Benji, I'm telling you, you just have to let go.
And the voice, fuck. The voice, there was so many regeneration attempts to get the Brad Pitt voice, right? I basically trained a clone to sound like Tyler Durden.
You just have to let go.
And it kind of sounds like him, but it's fine for a couple of seconds. This kind of goofy.
This part. Surely by letting go of all of this, I'd be free. Free to remember what real discipline was. Free to rest and heal. Free to rebuild from ground zero.
I originally wanted to have a quote from Jesus at like one of the points. Like, hold on, let me just. Yeah, this point here. I wanted a quote from Jesus, but it didn't quite fit in. I wish I put that in, and I kind of forgot about it. But the quote was like, "The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak," and that's what Jesus said to his disciples when they kept falling asleep and not standing guard and praying, and because the disciples wanted to stay awake, but then Jesus said, "The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak," and that kind of relates to me.
And so I did. I let go.
That's the AI shot, unfortunately, but it looks really good, and I don't have spare lambs on my hand. I don't have access to lambs, so why not? At least the location is kind of authentic. It's like the British countryside, and I do have access to this type of shot, but I don't have access to lambs, unfortunately. This is, if you're an anime watcher, you'll get it.
A heavy weight came off my shoulders. Everything got better by the day. Realizations came flying off the shelves abundantly. Enthusiasm began to rise.
This is the same masking shot, but it's just moving. I used keyframes to keyframe myself out, and it's just a moving mask shot. Except from my feet, that's completely green. That's completely like masked out with magic mask, like each point there. And you can see there's a slight blur there. And there's more slippers here. I only have one pair of these slippers, so there's a mask very thinly going across here.
The vicious cycle I was so reliant on was gone. Bad habits quiet, the hate replaced by a healthy drive. Something I hadn't used or felt in a while. But all of this wasn't just handed to me instantly because I had a breakthrough. How the fuck am I gonna take a...
This is a very big thing, right? I used to take cold showers like for 2 years straight, like no warm or hot showers whatsoever. Just cold showers day and night. I showered 2 times a day and it will always be cold for 2 years straight, and I was so disciplined, but then it turned toxic because I lost that discipline, but I still clung on to the old habits, and I still wanted to cold shower 2 times a day, and I clung onto my old identity, and it just got really bad because I'd be in the toilet for 30 minutes, I'd scroll on my phone to hate myself, and then go into a cold shower and waste so much time instead of like getting back to work.
Cold shower, it's literally winter. No, the world doesn't just bend to my new will as soon as I realize it. I still had to walk back into the same life, face the same instincts, the same habits, the same temptations that I've built up throughout the years.
I'm still there. That's the old me, by the way. On the right side, that's the old me. I'm walking around stressed that I can't take a cold shower. And then the new me is already taken the shower and it's gone back to work. And if you're wondering how I pulled off this shot because I have no one to help me, is a gimbal. A gimbal that's pointed at my head. And it's not perfect gimbal because if I turn my head, it doesn't see a face and it doesn't track me, as you can see here. I turn my head back and kind of reveal my face a little bit and it follows me again.
But by paving the new path, I felt something very foreign. It wasn't motivation, adrenaline.
And this bit was just, it's a bit long talking. I don't expect that the average viewer will, watch through this, but I just had this speaking place to clarify what I mean in the video and give my thoughts. And also, I was kind of lazy to do any more shots. Yeah. And so I just found a really, really nice shot angle in my room. This nice color of red, blue, red, green, and yeah, just spoke in a interesting location. And that's pretty much the video done. Thanks for watching.